The vice president said, when asked, well, why didn't y'all tell anybody? He said, because the president wanted people to remain calm.
Well, let's get
no, but Susan, this is important.
Susan,
I want to add, but if,
here.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
This video is brought to you by Extreme Tees. Click on the link below. Make sure you put Kevin in the promo code and you'll get a 20% discount. Part 6, y'all. Time with Tucker. Exposing this plot to just totally upend our whole institution. I'm talking Supreme Court. No telling where these folks will end when it comes down to just destroying everything that they claim Trump is trying to destroy if they get power. That is exactly why Trump must win, or we are in trouble. Now, the last part 4, wait, no, that was part 5. Last part 5, Tucker was exposing how, Kamala Harris is using identity politics, and they're going to try to change the whole system by saying Trump only puts white folks in high, powerful positions, and that's going to be their segue, their excuse into somehow justifying why they want to change all of our institutions based on people being disenfranchised. Then Kamala Harris put on her robe and her collar, her priest collar. Yeah, man, came out saying the sacraments. I started off right there trying to back Mike Pence up when he called out the aggressive attacks against, President Trump's nominee for the Supreme Court. And what did Kamala do? She got real deep. She went back to that maybe one time she went to, Bible study, vacation Bible study. That's when she was a kid, got forced, maybe, I don't know. But nonetheless, she went back there. Now, I'm offended. See, that gets you off of my back. When you make a comment, you didn't make it towards me. You simply made it towards your whole party in general, but she personalized it to respond and use her identity politics as a shield. And you know what? Me and Joe Biden are people of faith. Well, what faith? Everybody who has faith don't mean we all got the same faith. Can you get a little more specific? I mean, Mike Pence, we all know what Amy Barrett believes in. She's a Christian. What are you again? Kamala? See, Mike Pence should have been like, well, what religion, what faith, what do you believe in again? Or you're just throwing that out there. I'm a person of faith. And now Tucker transitions to the secondary phase of identity politics, which is, and I'm a woman. So if you accuse me and criticize and question me and interrupt me, you're doing that because you're a sexist, male chauvinist pig. So with that being said, let's check out these clips, and then we're going to transition into how do you support stupid identity politics narratives. See, just you as a person on your own pushing this stupidity, a lot of folks, they're going, that's stupid. That has nothing to do with that. But imagine if you had an army of media personalities backing it up. Now that right there just might convince a few bubbleheads that this stuff is real. Hurt them deep, Tucker.
I'm speaking. Joe Biden has been very clear. He will not raise taxes on anybody who makes less than $400,000 a year.
He said he's going to repeal the Trump tax cuts.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well, wait.
I'm speaking. I'm so glad we went through a little history lesson. Let's do that a little more. In 1864...
No, I'd like you to answer the question.
No, Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. Okay.
Democrats thought that was appealing. What world do they live in? They must have, because already you can find T-shirts and mugs online with the phrase, I'm speaking. Obviously, it was planned. Kamala Harris's many allies in the media were impressed, too. They knew exactly what Kamala Harris was really saying. I'm a woman. And they were unanimous in their conclusion. Mike Pence, who's been married to the same woman for 35 years, interrupted Kamala Harris because he's a sexist who hates women.
She was not overly assertive throughout this entire debate.
Well, Pence was a mansplainer in chief.
I get
Mr. Mike Mansplainer all night.
I understand that.
He repeatedly interrupted her. He demanded, well, he also repeatedly interrupted the other woman in the room, which is the moderator, who seemed to at some point lose control of him.
You have a reporter and a woman candidate, and both of them you're interrupting, both of them you're attacking. Not a good sign.
But I think a lot of people were noticing some mansplaining going on tonight.
He kept interrupting his moderator, a woman, and his opponent, a woman. Some may feel that that showed lack of respect.
Well, let me start with Pence. He was patronizing, which drove all the women crazy.
Mike Pence, who was mostly polite, but did interrupt and did do the guy thing of demanding and getting more time to speak than the woman.
Oh. So as a scientific matter, the category women doesn't really exist. Neither does the category men, because gender fluidity is real. You can choose your gender. But women are also simultaneously so different from men that you have to treat them in a completely different way or you're a bad person. Are you following this? And if you do that, you're mansplaining. That's what they told us on TV last night. What kind of adult uses the term mansplaining? Get some self-respect.
Now, did y'all hear all that garbage? All of these parrots, all of these dudes and women getting on TV prostituting themselves, all of these soy boys talking about something as a woman, and he kept interrupting because he's a woman. He's mansplaining. I'm like, dude, you know what? You're probably that guy that says, you know what, I'm a male feminist. And I'm going, what is that? How do you, did they ever drop at maybe 14? No. They're still up in your stomach? Okay, I figured that based on what you just did. Now, this is the funny part about identity politics that folks just don't get. When you adopt identity politics as a form of manipulation to get your way, and you create this problem, well, the problem with identity politics is there's never a solution because of the basic flaw in humans. We're all tainted. We all are flawed. At some point, somebody is going to be offended. Somebody is going to be hurt. And them trying to make these ongoing promises along with the ongoing accusations are doing nothing but being slung out there to create an opening for them to push other crap. There's no solution. All they're doing is saying, look, man, we've identified all these problems. We're not responsible for them, though. All these other folks are. And we're going to keep fighting for you guys if you continue to vote for us. Well, how are you going to solve that? How are you going to somehow rid America of racism? How are you going to somehow get inside the heads of all men? The very small group of men that, for whatever reason, in America is still thinking, woman, shut up. You need to be in that kitchen barefoot and pregnant. Cook my food. Those guys, how are you going to identify them and get in their brain and reconstruct that? Do you have some type of brain control? So, I mean, because see, what they all are doing, what that makes me feel like is you playing games. You're trying to make me think there's this mysterious entity that will always exist. Therefore, why are we fighting? Why are we continuing to try to fight against racism and stuff if there's never a solution? Can't solve it. It's always going to resurface itself. And we are the ones to tell y'all when it resurfaces. You're not able to identify it when it shows up, but we'll tell you when it shows up. And that is when it blocks our agenda. That's when it shows up every time. So now you got these bums on TV mansplaining. Man, look at that playing. She was a woman. Now, the other problem with identity politics is that you bump heads with all of these stupid narratives that you come up with and all of these groups that you claim that you're fighting for. So on one end, you got folks that's telling us that we don't have one or two, two genders. We got multiple ones. And you will hear them get on there and parrot that mess, get up on a debate talking about, yeah, if you elect me, we're going to fight for transgender women to have abortions. And I'm going, but a transgender woman would technically be a biological man. Why would he need an abortion? See, you're a bigot. So without no gender identities, then what are you talking about when you come back with mansplaining? When you come back with sexism? No, there's no sexism because there's technically no genders, no sex, all of that. You pick it as you go. Now you hit maybe 12. You know what? I don't like my apple stem. Let's get rid of that. And now I'm a female, according to them. Now, if that's the case, then why are they even talking about mansplaining? It doesn't make sense. We know it, but the bubbleheads don't. So that's why we're going to have to tell you guys to come back for part, what was it, 6? Might have been 6, maybe 7, or the next part. Trust me. Just come back so we can continue exposing this mess. Take care.